Hey, this is Dave from Unipro, and this is episode number 6 in the Millionaire from Scratch series, where I'm revealing the entire process that I've gone through to start a business from $0 and build it up to $1 million in online revenue in just 1 year. And this episode is all about delivering your first product or service. We call it an MVP, a minimum viable product. And in our case, we only had 52 days to build our MVP, and things got crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I'm going to be showing you all the steps we took to successfully launch our MVP in 52 days and some of the lessons we learned along the way that are going to help you launch your MVP as well. So let's dive in. Now, if you've been following along, you know the journey we've been on in this Millionaire from Scratch series. The very first step, and this was in video number 1, you can go back and watch this if you missed it, was discovering what is our dream business all about. In episode number 2, we figured out what type of product or service we were going to sell. Episode number 3 was all about creating demand for the idea behind this product or service. In episode number 4, we pre-sold it. In our case, I'll show you here, I'm going to take you over to Stripe. We did a pre-sale for our product or service idea, just the idea. We didn't have anything built. And this was the result. We earned $33,962. Money. And this was awesome because this becomes the bankroll that's going to fund the rest of this business. And I'm going to be showing you how we spent this money in this episode. And this was really important because, as I showed you in episode number 5, we then had to go out and hire a team. We built a small team that would help us deliver on this product or service idea that we had pre-sold. That was back in episode number 5. Now we're in episode number 6 where we need to deliver. We've got these paying customers and clients who bought during the pre-sale. And I'm going to show you what we promised them because we made some big promises. This was in episode number 4 where we talked about what's in your offer stack. And there's potentially all these different components that you can include in your product or service that make what you have very valuable. Now, for us, this is what we landed on, is we decided that we were going to deliver a software, we're going to deliver education, we're going to provide a community, and also add in some done-for-you services. And for us, we're targeting online business owners who want help getting more engagement on their social media so they can get easier leads and customers and clients. So this is what we need to deliver. This is what our MVP, our minimum viable product, needs to have included. And for us, we promised that this would be delivered in just 52 days, which is a very short window, especially when we're dealing with software. And I know when you hear that, that might create some anxiety in you. It certainly did for me. But here's the reality. Here's the thing that I needed to remember during this process is that delivering your MVP, the first iteration, it doesn't have to be perfect. So many of us entrepreneurs think that everything has to be perfect, but it doesn't.
It doesn't really work like that.
Here's the rule that I live by as I was building out this MVP. The rule was, will this deliver a positive result for our customers? Will this make our clients happy? They don't expect perfection either. They just want a result. They want a return on their investment.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what they paid us for. They want a result. So I needed to keep that in mind as we built out our very first MVP. So let's break this down because I'm going to take you through how we built the MVP in 52 days and launched it and what did it look like. The first one, the biggest hurdle, was this software. And again, go back and watch episode number 5 and you'll see how we built a team around us that has expertise in building out a software, because that's certainly not my forte. So we outsourced the software building to this team. And I'm going to admit, the first version of the software that was delivered back to me, it wasn't awesome.
It's bad.
And up until that point, I've been communicating most of my ideas with this software development team, mostly verbally. We'd get on calls or I'd write out instructions and I showed them different things that I saw around the web. But I quickly learned after I saw that first version of the software and it wasn't what I expected, I learned that I needed to be more specific. So I'm going to show you what I did is I went over to Canva and here's what I did. And you can see all of these Canva projects here. These are actually mock-ups of exactly what I wanted the software to look like and exactly how I wanted it to function. So let me show you. I'm going to go over to a specific one here and you can just see slide by slide I went through. Where does the logo go? What does the menu look like? What colors to use? What are the instructions that people should see? How big should the video be? What font to use? All these details were driven through these documents that I created inside of Canva. And I'm going to admit this took a ton of time, but it was worth it because now my team knew exactly what the expectations were.
That is a brilliant idea.
And this is relevant for you no matter what product or service you're creating. Maybe you're creating a coaching program. Maybe you're going to be selling a course. Maybe you've outsourced some work to build a website or to build an app. It's really important that your vision is clearly communicated. And so again, when I go back over here and show you how detailed this was, this step, me going to this level of detail, was instrumental in helping our team understand what the expectations were so that the MVP product was being built the way that I envisioned it to. Now, for anyone who's actually using the Unipro software right now, you might notice that when you come in here and you take a look look at these first iterations, these first mock-ups of what the software should look like, you'll notice it was pretty bare bones. When you take a look at the menu over here, you'll notice there weren't a whole lot of options, and that's okay. When you're building the first version of your product or service, it's not gonna have all the bells and whistles. It doesn't need to have everything. Remember, it just needs to get your clients the result that they paid for. And that's exactly what this MVP was designed to do as well. It just needed to get a result. I knew it could be improved later. So that's how we got to work on the software. Let's take a look at the next component, which is education. Now, you might remember from an earlier episode of the Millionaire from Scratch series where I showed you something that looked like this. One of the business ideas that I originally had in this process was building out a weight loss program specifically for people of the Christian faith. And you can see I got excited and I started building all these slides and building all these beautiful course materials. And I spent hours and hours and hours working on this stuff, and I hadn't made any money. I never even ended up launching that. So I wanted to avoid that mistake when building out the educational materials for our new Unipro project. And here's what I did instead of building out beautiful slides like this. I went back to Canva and built out just one document. And here's what that document looked like. It was a PDF download that has very simple bullet pointed instructions of how to use the Unipro software, how to get the best results, how to attract leads, how to do all those things that our clients were expecting. Remember, I wanted to give them the result that they needed.
To me, that's beautiful.
And you'll see how simple this PDF is. There's some instructions, and then there are some tutorial videos. And when we first launched and people were to click on these tutorials, I'll show you where it took them. It didn't go into some beautiful course portal. No, it took them into a Facebook group. And we're going to talk about this Facebook group in just a second. But you'll see from that PDF, it linked people back to video instructions that were hosted inside a private group only for our Unipro clients. And here's an example. You can see this is actually the very first lesson back on January 31st. And you can see it's me and my wife Lucy and our brand new baby welcoming new clients into this program. Very simple. There's no beautiful slides, no animations, nothing. It's literally us just going live and just talking. And you can do the same, especially if you're launching a course or some sort of coaching program. Don't feel like all your videos need to be highly produced the first time around. At this stage, you're just testing with your new clients to see what works and what doesn't, and then you can improve the quality along the way. So originally, like I said, these videos are just hosted inside of our Facebook group, and then I'll show you, we actually put them into our guide section. And the guide section just allowed us to order the lessons. So basically, people were following along from this PDF, and then they go over to the Facebook group by clicking links in the PDF. They could watch these videos, and then they could check out the guide section if they wanted to see all the video lessons in one place. And so you can see an example. It looked something like this when we launched it. Pretty bare bones, especially compared to where Unipro has come now. I'm going to go over to the Unipro dashboard now, and you can see we've got this beautiful dashboard.
Wow, that's amazing.
With all these professional lessons. I'll click on one of the lessons. Everything looks so good. It's so clean. It's so professional now. But when we were building our MVP, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to launch quickly and get your customers and clients results. That's it. So that takes care of the education piece. So we talked about software MVP, we talked about education MVP. Now what about the community? This is one of the things that we promised everyone who bought during our pre-sale. Well, you already saw a little bit of the Unipro community, but I'll go back and I'll show you what we needed to do in order to set up this community. It was very, very simple. Let me show you. So as you can see, it's simply a Facebook group with a header image, and all we did was put the Unipro logo on a black background and use that as a header image. Really simple. Then there was a name for the group. Again, we kept it simple. What is this group for? Unipro. It's to automate your Facebook marketing. And then finally, the third thing that we needed to start with was a description. And you'll notice the description, again, it's really simple. It basically says if you're a Unipro subscriber, you're in the right place. Join us here. And that's it. We didn't overthink it. And I want you to do the same when you're building out your community. If that's included in your offer stack, don't overthink it. Just launch. Now, inside the community, there was one more thing that we did add to make sure that everyone understood how to get help, how to get support, how to move forward, and how to start seeing results in their business. So I'm gonna go over inside the Unipro group, and you'll see that there's a post and it says, "Welcome to Unipro." And this was posted back in December of 2021. It's actually still the same post that we use today. We've just made modifications along the way. And you'll see here, it talks about how to access the strategy and software, how to pace yourself through the program, how to get tech support, and then how to get strategic support inside this community. So this makes it very clear for new members. How does this all work? Now, we want to make sure that all of our new customers, everyone who we're working with, they actually see this. And so what do? You'll take a look down here and you'll see that every single person who comes into our Unipro program, they get tagged on this welcome message. And you can see Lucy tags them here and then I reply. Our goal is to make sure every new Unipro subscriber knows exactly what they need to do. And I want you to think about that for your MVP as well, because while you don't need a perfect product or a perfect service, you do need your first customers to have very clear expectations as to how things work and how they can get help. And that's exactly what this welcome post inside of our community is all about. Now let's go back to our offer stack and you'll see that we've checked off software, we've got education, we've got community. What about done for you services? One of the things that we want to offer to our customers is done for you services, someone who can take the load off their shoulders. But when we first launched Unipro, we didn't know exactly what that was going to look like. We needed some reps working with our clients in order to see what help they need the most. So when we first delivered our MVP, this wasn't included, it came later. Now hearing that, you might want to push back and say, Dave, didn't your customers care that they weren't getting everything? They didn't get a finished product. It sounds like you were giving them something that was half finished. And the truth is, no, they didn't care. In fact, they were excited to be there. Here's the truth. People love being early adopters. People love being leaders. And so these customers who got in during our pre-sale, they were in on the ground floor. They were getting something that no one else had and they were very excited about it. The second benefit to these new pre-sale customers is that their input, the feedback they gave us, directly shaped the path of the business going forward. So these customers, while they were getting an MVP that wasn't finished, that had a lot of room to grow, they were excited because they were the first ones to start getting results by using this Unipro system. And the same will be true for your MVP customers. They're going to be excited to be the first ones who get access to your new product or your new service. And so now you've seen how we built our MVP version of our software, our education, our community, and eventually our done for you services. And hopefully you can use this as a template to do the exact same thing with your MVP product or service. So this was really exciting. We got to launch our MVP in just 52 days, but already we were thinking about what's next. And that next step is growth. How do we get more customers? How do we get more clients? And in the next episode of Millionaire from Scratch, that's exactly what you're going to learn. You're going to see how we went from 40 pre-sale customers into 140 paying subscribers in just 2 months.
Interesting.
And that rapid growth was largely thanks to a secret sales strategy that I stumbled upon. I'm really excited to share it with you. So if this video was helpful at all, if you got any ideas from this video, give it a like. And if you have any comments or questions about building your own MVP, leave those below. I'm happy to help out. Like I said, I'm excited to share in the next episode all about growth. How do you speed up the growth of your business? And so if that's something that you're excited about, again, give this video a like. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.